All right, Nuggets fans, welcome to Pickaxe and Roll, brought to you by our good friends over here at Mile High Sports. I am your host, Ryan Blackburn at NBA Blackburn on Twitter, part of the Mile High Sports Podcast Network, and I am very excited to be talking about a big Game 5 win for the Denver Nuggets. Final score 131, to 115. Just a very impressive, very timely win, and just a flat-out incredible Jamal Murray performance. We have plenty to discuss, plenty to talk about in this one, and I am looking forward to hearing your thoughts, getting your thoughts on where Denver is at and sort of the turnaround that they have made since what was an ugly Game 3. They won a very close and contested Game 4, and then basically did the thing in Game 5 that the Clippers did to them. So really impressive stuff, and I guess we're now back into the position where Denver's one win away from advancing. See how they handle it, but we'll have plenty of time to talk about that going forward in this podcast. But for now, I want to really focus in on a couple of the awesome performances that Denver played. I'll talk about the Jokic one as well. For as great as he was in Game 4, I thought he was very subpar in Game 5. I think that part of that was by design, honestly. So don't want to be firmly that critical at this point. But like, look, when you see Jamal Murray go for 43, it's pretty easy to kind of sit back, get to your spots, free him up, do some screening, do some playmaking, and not really worry about trying to crack the defense this time around. But just a really, really impressive performance from the Nuggets, any way you slice it. 131 points is really, really impressive. And I actually want to, while I start talking about Murray, I'm going to look up some numbers here from this game, because I think that there's a lot of interesting stats in terms of the on-court stuff that we will have to go over. We'll absolutely have to just kind of see where Denver was fantastic in this game, and there's just a lot of things I think you can point to about how good they were. So really impressive stuff from this Nuggets squad. But let's focus in on Murray first. 43 points, obviously nothing to sneeze at. That is a tremendous number. 17 of 26 from the field, 8 of 14 from three. Murray was dialed in. He took one free throw in this game. And was it from an and one? Was it from a technical foul? It was a take foul, I think. I think it was a take foul, and Norman Powell fouled him. And so, there were no possessions at all where Murray was fouled and assessed some free throws. These were all buckets, man. And these were tough buckets. 43 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 steals and a block, plus 17 in this game in 40 minutes. Holy smokes, man. Just one of those reminder games in so many different ways from Jamal, and just what he's able to do on a consistent basis. When he was on the floor in this game, the Nuggets had a 144.9, 145 offensive rating. Interestingly enough, when Michael Porter Jr. was on the floor, the Nuggets had a 160 offensive rating. I repeat, 160. Whew. That was pretty impressive. It actually wasn't the highest on the team, by the way. The highest was DeAndre Jordan in his 9 minutes and 30 seconds, 168.4. The problem is the Clippers also had a 166.7 offensive rating of their own. So kind of funny to see how those things work out. We'll talk about the bench minutes in a bit. But Murray, again, these are all tough buckets. These are all shots that you saw him take and miss more frequently in the first 4 games. Just talking about him in this last one, I thought that he would go off in this game. I thought that he would have a pretty good one. It's hard to hold him down for 4 straight games, and Game 5, I think, was the dam kind of breaking on this. where the Clippers, they have been accounting for him pretty heavily. They've been doing everything that they can. But based off of the Jokic rotations, based off of just how everybody else is being guarded, I really do feel like the Clippers had to relax some of their coverages on Murray just a little bit. And he absolutely took advantage immediately. It's something that I noticed when Bogdan Bogdanovic was going to play a whole heck of a lot of minutes. Is that when he is out there and it's either Kawhi that's guarding him or Powell or Harden or Nico Batum or guys like that, and it's not Chris Dunn, then Murray has a great opportunity to get free, generate space, and hit a big shot. And he did that over and over and over again in this game. Um, but as the Clippers get more offensive, the Nuggets have more ways that they can counter and be even better offensively themselves. Just one of those performances that you saw coming, and pretty much everybody that knows and respects what Murray does kind of saw this one coming. He had a game. Harden had a game in game one. Kawhi's game was in game two. And the fact that the Nuggets won the Harden game was a big deal. The Clippers as a whole just were a torrent in game three. Nothing very specific. And then Jokic had a game in game four. Now Murray has his game in game five. And so you've got each of the top four stars in this game, in this series, each contributing to a win. Or not a win, but like each having a special performance. And the Nuggets are up 3-2 as a result. And that to me, I think is pretty notable that they've been able to kind of pivot into this. And like now they've got a great opportunity to close the series, in part because Murray just said, yeah, we're going to win this game, and played like it. Absolutely took advantage of the circumstance and created and forged the circumstances himself. Just a massive, massive opportunity that Jamal had, and then Jamal delivered upon. 43 points, by the way, tied for the most points of anybody in this playoff run with Anthony Edwards, who like people I think are wondering whether he's just better than Luka Doncic, the best player in that series. Seems based off of the performances that he's had so far that's pretty clear in that particular series, but like Jamal's in that company when he's at his ceiling. And that to me is pretty notable. Like Steph isn't there anymore. Jokic, as for as awesome as he is, like there's certain scoring heights that Murray can reach as well and kind of match and exceed at times. Harden and Kawhi are great, but like they haven't gotten to that level. And gosh, like anybody in the East, Tatum, like maybe he'll have a game at some point that feels like that, but it obviously feels like Murray, when he is at his peak, can reach the peaks in the playoffs that all the other greats can. And that's what makes him special, man. Like it is, because there are times where he takes a step back and isn't always putting the foot on the gas all the way down and saying, hey, like he kind of lets people off the hook a little bit, especially in the regular season. But when the playoffs come around, it's more and more likely that you just get these kinds of performances from him because he's that much more locked in. He's that much more attentive and doing the things that he needs to do to get free. Just tremendous stuff from him overall, and deserves a whole heck of a lot of credit. So it's actually funny. The numbers that he is now putting up in the playoffs. I saw my boy Swipa put this up and basically say, yeah, for it didn't take a whole heck of a lot of time, but Murray is now averaging 24.6 points per game. You can round that up to 25 if you want to. Kawhi's at 25. Donovan Mitchell's at 23.8. Murray is 14th in the NBA in points per game right now. He is 9th in the NBA in assists per game. Only 2.8 turnovers, which is higher for him in general, but like clearly not the highest of anybody. And now he's shooting like 48% from the field, 45% from three, and 93% from the line. Like, just ridiculous. The shot making that he can put together when he's at his best is just tremendous. Um, it's why, and I said this last night on Locked On, it's why when you have Jokic playing at peak levels and when you have Murray playing at a level like this, you just can't count out Denver. I don't care like how many role players Denver has, how many rotation players they have. Like, they paper over so many of those potential roster building errors because of how good they can be together. And other guys, of course, deserve credit. Aaron Gordon played great. Michael Porter played great. Christian Brown played great. Russell Westbrook played great. We're going to get into all of those matchups. But it just feels to me like when Jokic is distributing and the all-encompassing force that he is, and Murray is the scoring dynamic force that he is, teams panic because they're like, "Oh crap, we can't deal with Jokic by himself. Like, now I got to deal with that other guy." And that's why you get performances like this. The dam kind of broke on the Clippers defense. They were doing some good things throughout the series. Denver had been really struggling to score. This is the first time where it felt like the Nuggets were scoring at will, and that is not by accident. Murray opened up this game in a lot of different ways, and just the pressure that he put on here, really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Before we take a break, let's talk about Russell Westbrook. Russ makes his return in the game last night. We didn't know if he was going to play, didn't know how much he had to give. He didn't start out perfectly. I'll say that. Like, couple turnovers, couple missed shots. Like, okay, we'll see what level he can get to. And then just immediately turned it on once he got comfortable. Just really impressive performance from Russ, who had 21 points in 25 minutes, 8 of 15 from the field, 3 of 6 from three, 2 of 2 from the line. Just a very efficient performance. Did have 4 turnovers. I thought he kind of forced it a little bit on occasion, but like sometimes you just need somebody to soak up a little bit of pressure. And the Nuggets, like, as you guys know, if you were listening to the show yesterday, I spoke about, hey, you have to put it and you have to get it into a place where the Nuggets starters are not averaging over 40 minutes per game. And lo and behold, like, you look at the box score, it's actually perfect. Based on like it's a perfect prediction for me. Um, Russ played 25 minutes. Peyton played 8. DeAndre Jordan played 10. You add those up, it's about 43. Um, I said yesterday that Denver needed to have at least 40 minutes from their bench. Now, of course, like, you can also add in all of the garbage time minutes to that equation. Like, that is part of the song and dance. But uh, like, one of the reasons why they were able to do that was because Russ was so good. Like, he was justifiably out there and making some big shots. The back-to-back pull-up threes that he had in the second quarter were ridiculous. And like, the 2 and ones that he had in that same quarter. Actually, no, he had an and one in the first, he had an and one in the second. Rocking the baby on Bogdan Bogdanovic, which is hilarious. That's just, hey, what he does. You wanna be able to ride with him when he's out there, when he's having fun, when he's playing well, and the not attitude, but like the aggressiveness is pointed in that positive direction. And so far, like, frankly, in these 3 games that Russ has actually finished, because he got injured in the middle of game 3. Not going to really criticize him for that one. Game 4, he didn't play. Games 1, 2, and 5, Russ has been pretty good, man. Like, there have all the criticisms in the regular season that you want, especially him coming off the bench, trying to figure out where to fit in, how to impact the game from that position. Maybe playing with some lineups that you wouldn't necessarily want him to play with, especially without Jokic. but he has been really good. And the fact that he's been able to kind of elevate that and put Denver into a position where they've been successful, glad to see it. Glad to see it from him. And like the three that he hit in the third quarter, at towards the end of the third quarter as well, was huge. Followed up by a massive Christian Brown pull up three with like 4 seconds left on the game clock. And like, look, just everybody contributed in their own way. Glad to see Denver find some ways to make it happen. They needed it. If you go down 3-2 in this situation and lose at home, that's a death knell because the momentum is just gone at that point. Now Denver does have momentum, and a lot of it is because of Russell Westbrook coming back. So wanted to make sure to like really focus in on that. Just the attitude and the aggressiveness, but also just the shot making. Like you need somebody who makes shots. As somebody who look, you get scarred when you see series that he had like last year, where going up against the Dallas Mavericks, he shot 26% from the field. And so I didn't know what to expect from Russ in this particular moment. But it appears that he's in a really good place shooting the ball, finding some opportunities, riffing off of what Jokic and Murray are doing, but also creating some shots for himself. So deserves a ton of credit, man. And the fact that he's been put into this position, like we kind of knew that the Nuggets would be a good fit for him, just in terms of what he needed, how they could use him, what they were asking of him, and what he was expected to do. It was a good fit. And the fact that that is manifested in this way in a playoff environment is really cool. Like you want him to recreate the Bruce Brown role in a lot of ways. And if he keeps doing it like this, Denver's going to have a guy that they could trust off of the bench. Maybe not like for 30 minutes, 36 minutes, or crazy numbers like that, but just somebody to give the rest of the starters a break. Extremely important. So glad to see him having some success here. Okay, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Christian Brown, Michael Porter, Aaron Gordon, and I'm going to circle back to Jokic and some adjustments that Denver needs to make for Game 6. We'll be right back here on Pickaxe and Roll. All right. Back at it, Pickaxe and Roll. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Would really, really appreciate it. For what it's worth, we've been doing a whole bunch of watch parties. Pickaxe has, not Pickaxe, Mile High Sports has, over at number 38. I'm not often able to go down there, especially when I'm at the arena. But like, no matter what, there's going to be a watch party at number 38. For Game 6, there's going to be one with altitude. So go check it out. Like, even though it's not hosted by MHS, go check out the watch party that's down there. And you can go see the studio space that we've set up just right in front of the front door. Like right inside the front door. Like we're not outside the building, I promise. That would be pretty funny. But yeah, go check out the production space that we have for some of the podcasting content that we've got. And then go have a great time at the game or watching the game for Game 6. Just a lot of fun to be down there. So if you're like, whether it's Game 6 or if the Clippers force a Game 7, we will have watch parties at number 38. So make sure to go check them out. All right. Really good stuff here from the Nuggets. Let's talk about, what do we talk about first? Michael Porter Jr. Like I mentioned, 160 offensive rating when Michael Porter was out there. The Nuggets were plus 34 in his 37 minutes. That, like, math majors out there, that means that they were minus 18 when he was off the floor in 11 minutes. The spacing is really important. And Russell Westbrook actually was one to mention that in his presser last night. Just spacing can be and is really important, especially against this Clippers team that likes to junk things up. They like to get their hands in passing lanes. They like to throw a lot of bodies at people, rotate, and have other like good defenders be covering on the backside of the play and trying to defend multiple people with one person. And they're able to do that if the spacing isn't good. If the spacing is good, it's a lot more difficult. It's a lot more ground to cover. The Nuggets are able to read it a little bit better. And I think that we're seeing that a little bit in game 5. And then hopefully going forward in this series, that the Nuggets are now pretty comfortable with how the Clippers are helping, what they're trying to do, different rules that the Nuggets are trying to establish when the Clippers say that they're going to help, when they're going to rotate and junk up the defense a little bit. And Michael Porter, I think, is a prime example of the benefit of just having somebody out there that the defense has to respect. He only took 10 shots. He only had 14 points. This wasn't like a crazy offensive performance from him, but 5 of 10 from the field, 3 of 5 from three, 1 of 1 on free throws, and just being out there to be helpful, to be like some of the shots that he made, by the way, were absurd. He had a uh, kind of catch and shoot off of a DHO or like a pull up off of a DHO action with Jokic. He dribbled once to his right in the first quarter and then rose and fired a contested three over Kawhi Leonard and drilled nothing but the bottom. Like, sometimes it's those shots that just get you together, and it gives the entire team some confidence that when you're making shots like that, it makes their job easier because they know that Kawhi's not going to leave you. When he's right there, he's not going to leave you, and he's not going to contest all these other guys. So, really good stuff from Michael Porter in this game. Really good stuff from Aaron Gordon in this game, who also had to guard Kawhi Leonard, outscored him in this game. Although I will say, so last night, Matt and I were like, he was going at Kawhi in terms of not really putting his imprint on the game. I have a little bit more sympathy because Kawhi went 20 points on 15 shots, but also had 11 assists and really assumed that playmaking role because Harden wasn't as good at it. And he had just 1 turnover. Part of that was because Denver was doubling. And even when Aaron was out there, Denver was trying to show him as many bodies as they could. They were trying to junk things up for him as much as possible. The Clippers still scored a little bit more than they would normally. But like, I thought that Denver did a pretty good job overall with their defense, just keeping it under pace of what they were doing offensively. Sometimes you don't have, like, if Denver's offense is dynamic, they are a team that has learned that you do not need to have your offense dynamic and your defense dynamic at the same time. It just has to be good enough. It just has to be in a situation where, like, what is the benefit overall of, like, I know what the benefit is, so like I get it. It's playing your starters less and getting them a little bit more of a break. But if you know that your guys are going to play 37 to 40 minutes anyway, what's the benefit of going balls to the wall on both ends of the floor at the same time and trying to win the game by 45? Like, there's no real need, and Denver's never been that team. So it would be cool. It would be kind of nice. I know fans are like, I don't know, Ryan, it'd be pretty nice to win by 45 points. Denver did what they had to do. They messed around a little bit in that fourth quarter. But overall, Denver won the first 3 quarters and then tied the last one at 32 apiece. So could be worse. Aaron Gordon, of course, 23 points, 11 shots, 8 of 9 from the free throw line, 7 of 11 from the field. Not a whole bunch of like he had 4 rebounds, 2 assists. He caught a lob from Jamal in the second half. That was pretty cool. And just continues to be a guy that Denver can trust in mismatch situations. The 8 of 9 from the free throw line is really, really important. More specifically, the 9 free throws. Although the fact that he's making them is great. But he's attacking Powell when Powell is guarding him. He's attacking Harden when Harden's guarding him. When Zubac is guarding him, he is basically, it's not always rolling to the rim. He did get blocked a couple times. I think once by Zoo, once by Leonard. Maybe multiple times, but like, he's still being so aggressive and putting himself into a position where they have to respect him so much that Porter is getting open and Christian Brown is getting open and Jokic and Murray have more space to operate and things like that. So everything's running well for Denver, especially in game 5. Gordon has showed up every single time. He's been very, very good, except for game 2, I want to say. But outside of that, and like game 3, nobody really showed up. So it is what it is. But games 1, 4, and 5, he's been essential for what the Nuggets have done. So credit to him for stepping up and being available and doing what's needed to be done. Christian Brown also stepping up in a different way. 11 points, only took two threes, did miss a couple free throws. Like, not a perfect night, of course, but like 5 of 8 from the field. He's guarding James Harden, and Harden did not have a good game. 11 points on 9 shots and 8 free throw attempts. Like, that's a big deal. Harden minus 16 in this game, and the team low plus minus on it. Notable to me. Very, very notable that like Christian basically matching his minutes the entire time. He is out there on a consistent basis, giving a whole bunch of energy and effort, trying to get up into his grill and bother him at least a little bit. Couple fouls that I think were pretty debatable. And Christian's getting into that position where he's being able to walk the line a little bit more in terms of being physical with Harden without getting the contact as often. So really good stuff from him. Had 12 rebounds in this game as well, including 4 offensive rebounds. Just the hustle has been there, and that's such a big deal in games like this one where the Clippers would finally get a stop, and then CB would just get an offensive rebound, kick it out to somebody else, and they'd hit a 3 or get a bucket. And just, that's a backbreaker kind of play. So, and then the end of the third quarter where he pulls up from 3, hits that shot over Nicholas Batum. Like, what a shot. He also hit a step back off of, like, at the elbow or just the elbow extended, just running DHO with Jokic, and Harden went under the screen and he just kind of stepped back and hit a calm pull up too. I continue to maintain that Christian is somebody that is going to keep being a deserving starter for the Nuggets. The version of player that he is right now is somebody that is continuing to step up, of course, continuing to learn, continuing to get better. But in 3 years' time, I just have no doubt that he's going to be a pretty solid, consistent option for Denver every single time. And the versatility that he's going to have as a shooter is going to be a lot higher. As long as he continues to work on those mechanics, improving his shot motion, improving like the release and the comfortability in terms of doing those things off the dribble, like he's going to get to a place where, I don't know, think about Kevin Huerter offensively. No, that's not the right name. I need to come up with a better name, especially because Kevin Huerter and him are both pasty white. But like KCP is probably a good one, where KCP wasn't perfect in terms of the details, in terms of figuring some stuff out early on in his career. And then he got better at it through reps and opportunity and playoff experience and things like that. Christian's going to keep getting better at those mechanics and like pull up shooting and things of that nature. So the Nuggets can and should probably stay committed to Christian Brown throughout this entire process, no matter what happens for everybody else. Caleb Miller asks in the comments here, Ryan, do you think Mike Malone watches these games? I don't know. I thought about that a little bit too. I think he probably does, or somebody close to him is watching these games. It's hard to quit in this situation. Like, I know he was done dirty, and it's not a great situation for anybody to be in, that Denver had to find a way to kind of reshuffle the energy and remove some of the pressure and things like that, those buzzwords. But I do think that like he cares. Like he cared more than anybody. So I don't think he wants the team to fail. But I also think that he's probably feeling very conflicted right now, because he doesn't want them to fail, but he also wants like to be validated in this circumstance that it wasn't like all his fault. And for anybody to kind of determine it to be all his fault would be ridiculous, I think. So yeah, just tough place to be. And he absolutely, like, I have a lot of sympathy for him in this situation, while also, I think, acknowledging that David Adelman has done a pretty good job in his place. He's everybody kind of talked about him as a prospective head coach. And so that was happening even before like this series and before anything, but I don't know. It's a tough place to be. Um really tough because I like Malone. I like him a lot. Um okay. What do the Nuggets need to win game 6? What's the one thing that they need to take from game 5 and take to game 6? I think the overall level of offensive execution, just being in the right place, making the right shots, and despite the fact whether the defense is contesting things or the offense is like generating good shots, like taking on the Clippers defense and turning it into something that Denver now seems like they have a pretty decent handle on. That's awesome. Like, that's great. Can they do it again? Can they do it when the Clippers are even more desperate, when their backs are against the wall, when it's an elimination environment? How are they going to handle it, especially traveling back to LA? That place is going to be rowdy. It's going to be insane. But could the Nuggets kind of take the wind out of those sails a little bit by showing up early and putting the Clippers into a situation where they're trying to come from behind early in that game? I don't know. But what I do know is that Kawhi in these situations is often very, very good. He's had some major performances in game 6 and 7 where you just look up and realize, oh, wow, Kawhi just had 40. Kawhi had 45. Like, these crazy numbers just to keep the team alive, put them into a situation where they are allowed the opportunity to stay alive. If Murray goes off again, and I kind of think here's how I envision this game going. I think the Clippers will start with Zubats on Jokic. I think they will eventually try to go back to that Harden on Jokic adjustment. And Jokic, I think, will be much better. One thing that I just will not accept that Jokic was trying to operate at peak performance scoring wise in this game. He got blocked at least 3 times and just looked a little bit bothered by this Harden defense. The fact that he was the guy that was guarding him and everybody else with the crazy arms and defensive instincts and things like that were rotating over and really making things difficult. I think that Jokic will be fine. I think that he will be a lot more aggressive to score when the time comes. And it's going to be about him reading the defense, handling those plays, and for the Nuggets to come up with some counters to that. And so if he can do that, and if Murray can continue to put pressure on the Clippers to continue to respect him, then I think the Nuggets will be able to score. I think they will. The question is whether they're going to be able to defend, whether they're going to be able to guard. Again, kind of, you get one day off in this case. Do you have the energy? Do you have the intensity to continue to cut off James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Norman Powell, Zubats? Like, can you guard those guys on a consistent basis? I don't know. I'm very curious to see how they handle it, but I do think that there's a good opportunity for them to get it done, and we'll see whether they're capable of it. Christian Brown is somebody I'm going to be watching in this one. He's got younger legs than a lot of the other guys in this series. The Clippers do not have a lot of young players on their roster. A lot of them are veterans. The Nuggets have a lot of veterans, except Christian Brown and Peyton Watson. Could Peyton Watson be a surprise factor in this case? Russell Westbrook, fresh legs, having not played in game 4, only half of game 3, showed up and made a big impact in game 5. Could he do the same thing in game 6? Denver needs everybody. They need all hands on deck. And I'm curious to see whether they can get it done. All right, folks, that is going to do it for this episode of Pickaxe and Roll, brought to you by our good friends here at Mile High Sports. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on the way out. And again, check out number 38 if you're on the fence. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. A really good system that they have over there, and lots of great environments, whether it's outdoor or indoor. You will not be disappointed. Thank you so much, everybody. Hit that like button on the way out. I will talk to you guys very soon.